Hey, everybody, and welcome back. It's the Fantasy Endgame here to help you win at fantasy football. We're going to answer your questions as we always do and break down your start sit questions, waiver wire. A lot of waivers are running either tonight or tomorrow. So let's get those pickups done. And I like to say trade questions, but we're going to see less of those because for a lot of you, it's too late to trade, which means you're going to be more active on the waiver wire. Don't stop being active on the waiver wire just because it's late in the season. The playoffs are almost here. You should never stop being active, period. Just at all. Being in first place, second place, doesn't matter. Still be active on the waiver wire. In fact, I'm going to rewind the clock back to August, July, when we were talking draft strategy, draft videos, when we thought we knew everything that was going to happen this season. We were totally wrong. But just general strategy. And I think number one, we always say as far as strategies, once the season starts, is you have to be active because guess what? No matter who you drafted, unless you just happen to get the perfect team somehow, which I doubt you did, you had to make some tough decisions, who to pick up, who to drop. Probably your team doesn't resemble what it did after the draft. So it's still important. To me, it's more important now than it was early in the season.
For sure. Oh yeah. No, everything is more important now. This is it. This is it. This is all that worrying week 1, week 2 about this guy. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be a league winner. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be a bust. Oh, I'm 2-0. I'm 3. Nah, doesn't matter anymore. None of it matters. This is it. You're either in the playoffs already and you're getting ready. You're just trying to set your team up as well as you can, or you're fighting for that playoff spot. But yeah, everything from basically January 1st until now out the window. It's like a whole new season now. Totally new season.
That's exactly right. And don't be shocked if you haven't done it before, gone through the playoff run and had to put streamers or last second pickups off the waiver wire in your lineup during the playoffs. Get ready because you might have to do that. And sometimes that's a way that you win. I remember many times getting a team where I managed to win, even though my guy got hurt. My guy,
Yep.
Something happened. I can't trust him. And you just pluck a guy off the wire for free, and he winds up being the difference. So it happens
Absolutely.
many times. So,
Yep. Sadly, injuries will still happen.
yeah, just not the running backs for some reason.
Apparently not to running backs this year.
Just in case, you might want to stash some of those handcuffs as well, those backup running backs, just in case. And injuries have happened to quarterbacks, Dak Prescott being one. He's not coming back. We didn't get to talk really last night. We broke down a lot of week 11 with our boy Keith, and, last week's over. But we didn't really get to talk about the Monday night game.
True.
So, yeah, the Cowboys. How about them boys? It's pretty much as bad as we thought it might be. It's bad. So apparently Cooper Rush wasn't bad enough. He's still going to be the quarterback this week. I will say at least CeeDee Lamb did come through getting some points. He was heavily targeted. Do you feel any better about CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, I feel better about CeeDee Lamb, but I still worry that the ceiling just isn't there for CeeDee Lamb. Like I feel like at least I feel good enough. And this is kind of what I said. Like CeeDee Lamb probably going to be like a wide receiver 2 rest of the season, which isn't bad, but certainly not what you drafted CeeDee Lamb for. You're not going to get those 25, 30 point, 35 point spike weeks, probably. Because even last night, 354 yards for Cooper Rush. And even still, like the only touchdown was because Keontae Turpin took that one little catch 60 plus yards to the house. So, like, you're not going to get a lot of chances to score. Not every throw is going to be accurate like it is with Dak Prescott. The offense certainly is going to be far, far worse. And I don't think Trey Lance is the answer either, if at some point they do decide to go to Trey Lance. So, yeah, I think CeeDee Lamb, at least you could feel good enough. Like, okay, he's a wide receiver 2 and he's not going to kill me, but he's probably not going to help you win a championship either necessarily.
Yeah, he's not going to be the guy you can just set and forget and say, well, I know he's going to give me 15 to 20 or whatever it is. We'll say, though, at least a ton of targets, not surprising. Jake Ferguson could be out. Nobody else really doing much. And he was one of the top 10 in expected fantasy points with week 11 being done. So I feel he's at least, like you said, a wide receiver 2 going forward. I mean, the expectations have to be lowered, but it doesn't mean you have to bench him. I
Right.
did want to bring up Trey Lance, though, because,
Okay.
people will ask.
Yes.
He's not necessarily going to start. They said like they're going to have a package for him or something. Like he'll make a cameo. Okay, what's up, guys? And then he'll leave. Is this a situation where you'd like to see Trey Lance just like, hey, let's just see what he can do. Just come on. Like, what do you have to lose here? You're obviously not making the playoffs anyways. We know what Cooper Rush is. Why not? Like, let's just see him.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Like Cooper Rush, yeah, like you said, we've seen what Cooper Rush is. Yeah, why not just see if Trey Lance can maybe do something? Now, I will say this is a little different. Like this isn't like a team, like say, I don't know, who's a team? Like, okay, the Colts. Well, maybe not. Maybe the Colts are bad. Well, yeah, maybe the Colts, right? Where the Colts bench their potential young franchise QB for a dusty vet who is never going to be their future QB just to try to like eke out a playoff berth. The Cowboys have their franchise QB, at least in their mind, they do with Dak Prescott, right? So it's not like it's not like they're auditioning Trey Lance to see if he's the future, but why not put him out there? What if Trey Lance plays really well? Worst case, you can shop Trey Lance this offseason. If Trey Lance goes out there over the last 5 or 6 games, or however many games are left here, and looks competent and puts up some good numbers, there's going to be like 4 or 5 teams tripping over themselves in the offseason to get Trey Lance because that's how desperate teams are for quarterbacks. So, yeah, why? I don't understand why going with Cooper Rush. Like, yeah, you're out of it. Like, you're not fighting for the playoffs anymore, but it is what it is because we have one more week of Cooper Rush, then maybe Trey Lance.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Maybe Thanksgiving will be the Trey Lance Turkey Bowl.
Is that Giants? Is that Giants Cowboys?
Giants Cowboys.
Tommy DeVito. We might get Trey Lance versus Tommy DeVito. Thanksgiving,
which sounds better than Cooper Rush and Drew Lock, I think.
Sure. Like on paper, I guess it sounds better.
Yeah.
I don't know if reality will be any better, but maybe on paper.
Yeah, reality is might not be as highly televised. So people will still watch because it's Thanksgiving. So I guess it doesn't really matter anyways. But
no,
man, it's just rough. Cowboys in general, rough these days. Also, you know what? There's not a lot of fantasy relevance here, but I just want to take this opportunity to mention the Jets, just because it brings me a slight bit of joy in an otherwise dark year for the Dolphins. The Jets are definitely a dumpster fire now. Aaron Rodgers probably still going to finish out the year, even though he's the one who's poured the gasoline everywhere and lit the match to start this dumpster fire. You know, he's the one who's taken everybody down.
Yes.
Are you going to just view this Jets offense the same way that you have going forward? Do you think things could possibly get worse as the season goes on? I mean, you know, when a team already fired their coach, now they fire their GM, and now it's like, what's next? Do you think? I worry sometimes the team just totally checks out. They're like, we're done. Like, we know you're not coming back. You're not coming back. I might not be back. You know what I mean? Do you think that it kind of like infects the whole team?
I think it has to a degree, but at the same time, these are the most competitive human beings on the planet. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly going to be a difference between like, oh, we might make the playoffs and make a deep playoff run level of competitiveness versus, you know, we suck level of competitiveness, but there's still a level of competitiveness. You still want to go out there and play your best. So I'm not necessarily too worried about that. I mean, we saw last year Breece Hall down the stretch on a miserable Jets team had some big games. So yeah, I'm not too worried like about the players themselves, you know, mailing it in or anything like that.
Yeah, the one guy I think I would worry about is obviously Devontae Adams, you know, came over there just to be with his guy, and now he's like, what have I done? It's not exactly going according to plan. And Aaron Rodgers almost surely will not be a Jet next year. So now Devontae Adams has got to be thinking, what am I going to do?
Retire?
Going to New Orleans to find Derek Carr again? Is that the plan?
Is Derek Carr going to be a Saint next year?
You know what? I think you just figured it out. Derek Carr to the Jets. Problem solved.
Problem solved. There you go. And then Aaron Rodgers has to go to the Vikings to fulfill the prophecy that was set by Brett Favre.
There you
because
go.
He literally is just doing exactly what Brett Favre did in his career, isn't he?
That's exactly right. And
sitting behind the starter. Yeah, sitting behind a starter, finally getting the role in Green Bay, then getting kicked out of Green Bay to go to the Jets. He's got to finish his career in Minnesota. It's already been written.
Okay, the prophecies have foretold it. Sorry, Vikings fans, get ready. Man, that's the case. I don't even know if I'd be putting Jefferson as a first round pick. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still plenty of football left to go. We'll see. Nick, we're gonna have some teams unfortunately fighting for the playoffs and some fighting for the number 1 draft pick. But yeah, nothing else. I just hope my boy Cam Ward goes to a good spot. Not the Giants. All right. You know who's in a good spot now? Jameis Winston. Why? Just because he's playing on Thursday night. And if you do a pick 'em on underdog for the very first time, you get Jameis Winston as a free pick, just going higher than 0.5 total yards. That's right. Jameis Winston, actually, I think it is a good spot. He gets a chance to be the guy there for the rest of the season. He could audition, maybe be the Jets quarterback next year. Who knows? But Jameis Winston right now, you get this free pick. If you haven't tried underdog, I know a lot of you already have, but if for some reason you're waiting or not sure, check it out. You get this free pick. Jameis Winston getting 1 yard on Thursday night. And you do get that free pick. And you also get up to $1,000 of bonus cash for your initial deposit. Use code ENDGAME when you signed up. So go ahead and try underdog right now. Again, ENDGAME is the code you want to use when you check out. And you also want the DraftLane app because DraftLane is our app. It's us. You can ask your questions. We will answer them. That's how it works. Download it for free, the App Store and the Play Store. And you ask your fantasy football questions on the app, but we answer them. We give you personalized feedback. And we can also help you out in terms of waiver wire, your trade questions if you still have them, because it syncs with your Yahoo and your sleeper leagues. And so it allows us to take a peek at your rosters, maybe even your league mates. If you do a trade question, a lot of functionality there that you won't necessarily get here on the live stream. So if you haven't tried DraftLane, definitely want to do it. All right. Well, we do have questions here, as always. And no surprise, Cody Greenwood is in the house. All right, Cody, with that stacked team, I like that Boswell's got the Boss name. He actually deserves it more than Brian Boswell ever did. Bosworth, I mean. Bosworth. Boswell, not Bosworth.
That is true.
A lot of you don't even know who Brian Bosworth is.
Just Google or just go on YouTube and do Bosworth versus Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Boss. Anyways, debating benching Kyron for DK this week.
Man, I know Kyron has been not very good lately. And it is the Eagles.
It is a tough matchup. All those touchdowns, I guess he reached his quota, right? Like he scored them all first half of the season, and like he's done.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, what did he had gone like 18 straight games with a touchdown? Like, I don't even know like how many games in a row did let's just keep going with the flashbacks here. We talked about Brett Favre, we talked about the Boz. Let's talk about LaDainian Tomlinson now. What was his longest streak of touchdowns?
I don't even know. Probably 20.
He had that 1 year when didn't he have like 31 touchdowns? Isn't that the record? 31 or something like that?
I'll have to look it up.
Did he score in every game that year? Probably. I mean, if you're going to have 31 touchdowns, you probably scored every game.
He probably scored multiple touchdowns every game.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay,
I don't
30.
know if
You're
I can
right.
do this. So
31 total touchdowns, 28 rushing touchdowns, and
Yeah.
that was in 2006.
Yeah, that's insane. 31. He like literally he broke. I remember I wasn't playing fantasy at the time because I was still like, I just want to watch football. I don't want to I just want to watch the games. But I had some friends that played fantasy and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's basically like if you had LaDainian Tomlinson, you won the championship." Like that was it. Like you had LaDainian Tomlinson, you won. If you That was the only question was like, did you draft LaDainian Tomlinson or not? That's it. Like 31 touchdowns.
Anyways,
It's crazy.
back to
Cody's question.
He actually, I'm sorry, just because I'm looking now, he actually didn't score every game. There were 4 games he didn't even score at all, but there were
insane.
2 games where he scored 4 touchdowns in a game. I'm sorry, 3 times he scored 4 touchdowns in a game.
It's insane. How do you have 31 touchdowns and not score every game? That's insane. 2,300 total yards. Not to mention, it also chipped in 56 catches just for good measure, just an extra 56 fantasy points on top of everything else. Anyways, I think I still got to go Kyren. I do like DK this week, but I don't know. I think I still go
Kyren. It's close. You don't want to necessarily try to predict touchdowns because it gets really tricky there. I think the reason I would go Kyren just barely here is because we did see JSN actually continue to thrive despite DK being back. And it's a good spot for DK, but I feel like total yardage wise, Kyren should be able to match DK. And then I think he still has more touchdown upside. So it's fine. But it's close. I mean, this is not a very obvious pick. What about House of Sneakerhead? Sounds like a good house. Should I start Mike Evans this week?
Yeah, I mean, man, you have some good choices here. But how can we not? I mean, Mike Evans against the Giants, where they literally the only players they have to throw to right now is K-Dot in the tight end and Rachaad White the running back. Like there is no other wide receiver has stepped up. Like not at all. It's like, would it surprise you if Mike Evans got 10 plus targets every game rest of the season?
Oh, Mike Evans, it's going to be a must start every week because he should be a top 10 receiver rest of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, like at least not top 5. I mean, again, like with the way Baker slings it and how good he was before the injury.
No Godwin.
Yeah, you got what's that?
And no Godwin. I mean, before he was contending with Chris Godwin. Now there's no Godwin.
Exactly, and he was still a monster even with Godwin. So yeah, I think you got to go Evans. I mean, if Evans doesn't play for some reason, then you can go Pickens, DK, Jennings. But I think I go Pickens, Evans. Oh, man, DK and Jennings is close, actually. I think I go DK over Jennings, though. That one is close.
Yeah, I think Evans has to be the top pick here. I do like Pickens' matchup. People probably don't realize it's actually almost as good as last week's with Baltimore. So I go Pickens next and then probably DK. But yeah, you got to start Evans. All right, Spearsy. So he's at a crossroads. We got Caleb Williams and Russell Wilson. Bo Nix and Anthony Richardson are waivers. So who do you like best?
I think right now you got to go with Bo Nix, but I wouldn't mind picking up both these guys, honestly. And I think you could probably drop Caleb and Russ.
Yeah, I can see the dilemma here because a lot of these guys, I mean, they're all up and down, up and down. You don't know what to get from any given week. Bo Nix was great last week, and he gets the Raiders this week, but it's actually not as good of a matchup on paper versus that defense. I still think I like Anthony Richardson's upside the most because he has that rushing upside. And I hate to say it because, he let us all down, but Russell Wilson still has a really good matchup this week as well. But I'm not going to trust Russ. So if it were me, I would go Anthony Richardson. I'd like to say Caleb Williams, but the problem is he's also got a tough matchup, and he's got a really tough schedule the rest of the season. Just period. So I would probably drop those two for the other two. And this week, I don't know. If it's me, I'm playing Anthony Richardson. You going Knicks?
Yeah, I think I got to go Knicks. I mean, let me check. Yeah, I have Richardson as more of like a streaming option and Knicks more like a solid start. It's the Raiders. I'm not scared of the Raiders. I'm going to go Knicks.
No. This really is all about what do you expect from Anthony Richardson? You know, he's just boom bust. Look, if you don't want to risk it, I'm fine with Knicks. All right. Other John, tight end question. It's about time. Dallas Goedert or Jonnu Smith?
I think you got to go Jonnu Smith right now.
Yeah.
You just have to.
The target share is just consistently there. The target share that is not consistently there for Jalen Waddle, it's there for Jonnu Smith. So, yeah, you got to go there. And he's got a good matchup too. Good evening to Sir Boomer, and good evening today. Let's see to everybody, even Andy Reid, because you don't have to worry about Isaiah Pacheco. Good. And let's see.
I'm surprised he didn't have a Nico comment after last night.
I know, right? He must have won. Well, I guess he did. He's okay. Fine. Let's hold on. Put it up. He's 9-2. He won, so that's why. Good evening to everybody. We just talked about draft strategy. Everything is working out pretty well since you're 9-2 in sole position of first place.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's go to this. He said something about Hollywood Brown. Tweeted out a clock emoji. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. You're gonna drop Jamar. I would definitely be dropping Jamar Chase for Hollywood Brown though.
Yeah.
I don't want that bum. That Jamar Chase isn't even playing this week. Get him off my team. Get this bum off my team.
He's a bum. Which, you know what that reminds. Let's fast forward to this one because you noticed this. Sammy, what's up, Sammy? You know, Trey McBride's a bum. He got you 0 points in week 11. So someone's like, yeah, enough of this guy. Dropped him. I mean, even if you're good, I think you got to pick him up.
Yes. I mean, I don't even know who would your tight end be? Okay, even if you have Brock Bowers, you still pick up McBride.
You pick him up, even if your trade deadline is passed, like I can't do anything with him. You pick him up so somebody else doesn't get him.
Yes, exactly. Don't let somebody else's team get better for free.
And he's one of the very, very few, maybe, I don't know, like 3 tight ends that I'm not saying you want to, but you could at least consider as a flex and not hate yourself for it. Too much. KJ Sticks needs a quarterback, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end. Got Kyler, Herbert, Bo. It's a lot of quarterbacks for a 1-quarterback league. Gibbs, Connor Stevenson, Bucky, Puka, Lamb, Judy, and Njoku and Auden.
All right, I'm going to go Auden at tight end still, even if Evans is back.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go Herbert over Kyler.
No, you know what? I'm glad you said it. To me, that's the only tough decision here. It's like, who do I put at quarterback? I like Herbert a lot this week too.
And Herbert's been running.
Yep.
It's not like Herbert doesn't run. Herbert's been running, and they even have design runs for him, and he gets the Ravens. So give me Herbert over Kyler. Let's drop Bo Nix and pick somebody up. What are we doing with 3 quarterbacks here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Gibbs and Connor at running back. Puka Lamb at wide receiver, and I think I'm gonna flex. It's either Stevenson or Bucky. I know Bucky has been like better in real life than Stevenson, but man, Stevenson just had 20 carries and 4 catches. He gets that Dolphins run defense. I think I'm going Stevenson.
I believe we had something along these lines last night, and I think I went Bucky over Stevenson, but those two are really close. I like Bucky's ceiling just a little bit more, but Stevenson is totally fine too. But yeah, I gotta go Herbert here. Joshua Rogers. Oh, okay. Coleman, Dobbs, or Deontay Johnson.
Playoff schedule, PPR stash. Well, I don't know what the playoff schedules look like, but I think I would stash Coleman. I just think he has the most potential upside here. I'm definitely not stashing Deontay, and like Dobbs is fine, but he's always going to be competing with Reed, Watson, maybe Kraft once in a while. Jacobs out of the backfield. Just give me Coleman for the potential upside. I mean, that's what we're looking for, right? If we're stashing guys for the playoffs, we're just looking for pure upside here.
Right. It's not Deontay Johnson because it really doesn't matter what the schedule is. If he's not playing, he's not going to be out there no matter who the defense is. So no to Deontay and agree Coleman over Dobbs. The Packers actually have kind of a tough schedule coming up as well. Ginyu Force needs to. Jen, is that supposed to be
Jefferson? Jennings?
Maybe Juwan Jennings. Okay. Jay Jennings. Jennings, Neighbors, Devontae Smith needs to.
Who? You think by now I shouldn't be surprised by things happening in fantasy football, but here we are in week 12, and Juwan Jennings is like a borderline must start in fantasy football. A guy how many people? I mean, if we took if we gave everybody on the stream right now truth serum, how many people on the stream even knew who Juwan Jennings was back in August? Like if we said back in August, who is Juwan Jennings? How many people on the stream? Like half, maybe.
Yeah. Where does he play? Where did he come from? Where did he go to college?
Yeah. And now he's like borderline must start. You got to go Jennings Neighbors because it's fantasy football.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, I kind of was like sort of someone in on Jennings last year as a dynasty stash because he's in the 49ers offense. Did not see this coming. Did not think he would be fantasy relevant, even if Brandon Ayuk was out for the season. So I'm going to go Jennings and Neighbors. The DeVito factor has to be a factor. So Anthony, actually, no, it's the matchup. Otten, Disley, or Henry this week. Otten feels like we all trust him too much. You think it's a letdown, maybe because Mike Evans is back?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, look, Disley is a strong start this week. You're starting Disley. But there's also a part of me that wonders if Disley is going to be a letdown this week.
Right.
Because now the whole fantasy world is on Disley, and it's the Ravens. Too good to be true. Too good to be true. I'm still going on.
We always have to, first and foremost, at least look at not just last week's, but try to project target share. Otten's still going to get targeted a ton because even if Evans is back, Godwin ain't. McMillan, Shepard, Palmer, whatever. Those guys are totally irrelevant. Otten will still get a ton of targets. He's obviously got that trust from Baker Mayfield, and that's important. So I think you still got to go Otten here. Disley's fine, but he's not better than Otten. And also wants to know, this is still Anthony, bye weeks are here. Start Waddle, no thank you. Hit waivers for Elijah Moore, Pop, Butte, Watson. Not MVS. He's on bye also.
MVS is on bye. I mean, I'd probably just gamble on Watson here.
Yeah.
Gamble on some upside for Watson. I mean, I guess if you want, I don't even know if I can say Elijah Moore will guarantee give you points because this guy can just disappear for games.
Yeah, against the Steelers, he very well could.
So. Yeah, I might just gamble on Watson here. I'm not playing Waddle. Waddle done. I mean, I was done with Waddle 2 weeks ago, but yeah, done.
I wanted to wait one more week. It was the Raiders. I don't know. I don't know what I was waiting for. Maybe I was just holding out hope. But no, I'm done. I'm officially done now. You can still drop Waddle, and even if you don't need to, that's fine. Pick up Watson. Go Watson. Gabriel, what is up? Good afternoon. 8-3, half PPR. Got this team. Thoughts? Any trade or free agent ideas for the final push? Well, if you could still make trades, that's nice. You're pretty good at receiver. You're very good at receiver.
I'll tell you.
I guess you're running back too.
I mean, you're good at running back too.
Yeah.
What's crazy about running back this year is that any other year in fantasy, Chase Brown would probably be a top 5 rest of the season running back and an absolute, like, everybody who has Chase Brown, like, you just had a league winner. But he's probably going to be like only a top 15 running back rest of the season because all the running backs are still going. Like any other year, Chase Brown is like carrying you to the championship, and he still could carry you to the championship because he's going to be good. But it's just crazy that like in this year, Chase Brown isn't like Kyron Williams or something. You know what I mean? Like he's not like Kyron Williams was last year because running backs are Thanos this year. They're inevitable. Can't do anything about them. But you're pretty stacked everywhere. I mean, Cook, Chase Brown, B-Rob, Tracy, J.J. Puka, Higgins, Tillman, Jennings, Kincaid. Well, let's get rid of Kincaid.
Yeah.
Who's out there on the waiver wire at tight end? Let's fix that.
Exactly. I don't want to stick with Kincaid, but I don't want to trade like a Tyrone Tracy or Jennings to get a tight end. So yeah, just find someone else.
I will say it's not a bad strategy this time of year. I'm not saying you have to trade guys like Braylon Allen or Tyler Algier, but the player in your league with Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson are probably more eager to get those guys on their roster now than they were, say, like week 1, week 2, because they know, like, hey, if something happens to Bijan, at least I have Algier. So you can probably get more for those guys right now. So if the team that has Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson has, like, maybe they have 2 tight ends. Maybe they have, if they have a good tight end, maybe go see if they'll take one of those guys for a tight end, depending on who's on waivers.
Or if someone out there still believes in Dalton Kincaid, or they got Josh Allen or whatever, package them. That's a great idea. Actually, you know what? I'll say Kincaid and Algier or Kincaid and Braylon Allen for your tight end, assuming it's a good tight end, and not like a Hunter Henry or somebody like that. But maybe they have McBride, maybe they have even George Kittle. That guy's hurt. Okay. Anyways, try that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we get to the rest of the member and super chat questions, we got to do this one. Fat Boy Justin wanted to drop Aaron Jones.
I know he's been underwhelming for fantasy, but he's been good in real life. It's just the touchdowns haven't been there. Which touchdowns are the great equalizer in fantasy. Right? I mean, you think about like a running back could have 100 total yards. Like Najee Harris this year. He's had many games where he's had 100 plus yards, but he doesn't score, so he gets like 10 fantasy points. Aaron Jones has been good. If he starts scoring, you're going to regret that you dropped him. You can't drop Aaron Jones.
Yeah, now I will say this, touchdowns obviously, but also I think it's 3 weeks in a row, Cam Akers, his snap share has steadily increased. He's kind of eating into Aaron Jones' touches, and so it looks like Jones isn't necessarily going to be a workhorse anymore. So I understand some concern behind Aaron Jones, but I wouldn't drop him. I mean, definitely wouldn't drop him, and he is still startable. Partly it could just be worried about the ribs, right? He took that hard hit. He missed part of the game 2 weeks ago, and then last week they probably were kind of like easing him back into it. So I'm not going to read too much into that either. But it is something to monitor.
Yeah.
Abamanu, welcome back. Darnold, AR, DeVito, or Winston?
Not DeVito, not Darnold. I'd probably just go Anthony Richardson here against the Lions. Winston, tough matchup against the Steelers. Let's just go Anthony Richardson.
Kind of like, look, I fully acknowledge the risk here. A lot of risks still. But Richardson has that upside. He has the rushing ability. They're probably going to have to pass it a lot more than they want to against the Lions. So if I liked Winston's matchup, I would go Winston. I hate Winston's matchup. I don't trust Winston this week. And I still don't trust Darnold enough. I'll just go with upside of AR. Vinny, what is up? 16-teamer, but he's got the 7-4 record. That's nice. Going with QJ or Pop?
Oh, definitely QJ. Definitely QJ. At least he gives you some upside, and now it's the Ravens.
Yeah. He gets the Ravens. New England gets Dolphins. Tough pass defense. Improving pass defense as well. And then he also wants to know Murray or Tua.
I'm definitely going Murray here.
I do like Tua. I think I had him as basically one of my favorite streaming options, but I got Murray a little bit higher than that. And then need to flex between Pop, Watson, Harrison, Addison, or Waddle. Okay, well, I think it's not Waddle.
It's Harrison. Let's go with the Kyler Harrison stack here.
Yeah, I think Harrison is now at the very least more than a flex.
Yeah.
There you go. JCR Melts, what is up? Need to flex in a full PPR Judy or Wandale.
Call me crazy again, but I'm gonna go back to the well with Judy. It's not as good of a matchup for him this week, but I mean, man, this guy is getting not all the targets, but just so many targets. The Browns throw the ball a ton. They have no running game. I think Judy has just as much of a floor as Wandale, but more ceiling. I'm going Judy. And yes, Kirk Cousins is droppable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Kirk Cousins is droppable just besides the fact he's on bye. He still is droppable. I'm going to go Wandale because it's the Bucs. Like, come on. It's the Bucs. I think he'll get plenty of targets, plenty of receptions, but it's also because I am legit scared that Winston's going to have a 3-interception, 159-yard game. Like, I think it might be one of those days. The Steelers' defense is legit. They are for real. So I'm just worried about the Browns' offense.
The thing for me about Wandale, I don't know what the saying is, but it's the Bucs, but it's Wandale. But it's the Bucs, but it's Wandale. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I'm not like over the moon for Wandale, but he'll get you a floor because he gets targeted like crazy. I don't think that's going to change with Tommy DeVito. He's not like, oh, now it's Jameis Winston. We're going to start chucking it deep. Like, if anything, they might go even more to the underneath passes. But anyways, that one could go either way. Tyler C in first place. Very nice in that 0.7 PPR league. Jennings or Flowers?
You got to just keep rolling with Jennings. Got to just keep rolling with Jennings. I mean, look, Flowers, the annoying thing with Flowers is he always has the potential to just go off on your bench. But I can't sit Jennings right now. Can't sit him.
Yeah. Again, can't just like outright rage bench Flowers. I mean, you could. But still got to go Jennings. He is the number one receiver in San Francisco. That's just what the stats say. 9-ball Bori, RB2 and bench are on bye. Needs a running back from this sad group. Estimate Akers, Gus, Rashawn Singletary. Yeah, so it's making me slightly misty-eyed. Got to pick up one.
I think Rashawn is my first choice, even though he has the toughest matchup, but he got 10 carries and he always gets goal line carries. I think Estimate would be my number 2 just for the matchup and just to gamble on the fact that this week it's Estimate. Right? 2 weeks ago it was Estimate, and then everybody was like, it's Estimate, and then Sean Payton's like, it's not Estimate. And now when everybody's like, I guess it's not Estimate, he's going to be like, it's Estimate again. Like, that's just Sean Payton. So I'll go Rashawn 1, Estimate 2.
I'm going to go Rashawn 1. I'm going to just kindly avoid the whole Broncos backfield. Like, yeah, I'm done with that. I'll throw, let me see, this week. Let me see. Yeah, I don't care. I'll put Akers 2, just in case he maybe gets more touches again. I'll go Gus 3. And then just purely out of spite, I'll put Singletary ahead of Estimate. So there you go. Matthew Kircher. Got Herbie on waivers last week. Very nice. Should I start on the rest of the season rather than Stroud? Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, what are we holding out hope for Stroud? I tweeted this out last night after the game. Last year, Stroud had less than 15 fantasy points 6 times the entire year. He's already done it 7 times. 7 times. We played 11 games. He's already done it. So, yeah, what are we holding Stroud for? This guy's going to go down. I know people don't want to hear it, but this guy's going to also go down as one of the biggest busts of 2024.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to call him a bust, right? Because he was so great as a rookie. But, yeah, we didn't talk about that. We just talked about the Cowboys side of things. But, yeah, against the Cowboys, still not putting up numbers. I mean, I guess he didn't have to. You're like, okay, well, it was Joe Mixon, right? He doesn't have to. But that's the whole problem. The point is he hasn't had to all year. So why would it change now? Like, unless Joe Mixon gets hurt, it's not going to change. He's not startable in a 1 QB league. That's it. So, no, you can drop Stroud. And even if you don't have a Herbert, which you do, I would rather stream. Let's go to Silicon Valley Athletics. What's up? Desperate needs running back. Notice a lot of desperation in the comments already. It's the Bipocalypse.
This is the worst bye week of the year for sure.
Yep. Trey Benson or Nick Chubb?
I think you got to go Benson here. Before the bye, he did have 10 carries and 2 catches, and they get the better matchup against Seattle. Nick Chubb, I mean, like I actually gave Nick Chubb a chance last week against the Saints.
You did?
Yeah. The Nick Chubb we know and love is not walking through those doors this year. Give me Benson.
Yeah, I mean, even in a good spot, basically just still looked like a guy recovering from serious surgery and, half speed. And now against the Steelers. No. And then needs one, Pearsall, Thielen, Wandale.
All right. Okay, fine. Here you got me. Congratulations, Silicon Valley Athletics. You did it. You got me to say Wandale Robinson. Well done.
It's got to be Wandale. I mean, it's got to be Wandale.
Yeah.
Marcel Harms. 16-teamer. Oh, that's right. This is that one league. Remember, you only start 1 running back, 1 receiver, and 2 flex. Still making trades. I love it. Kyler, CMC, JJ, Harrison, Cooper, Olave, CMC, Harrison, Gibbs, Hall, Connor. Which side do you like? I like the second side.
Yeah, I like the second side too.
I guess. I remember you traded for Jefferson, I thought. Wait a minute. No, let me look at this again. On the second side, you're giving up Justin Jefferson. Because CMC and Harrison. Okay, so basically it's Jefferson and Cooper for either Gibbs or Hall and Connor.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Cooper. It's like a throw-in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then Olave has to come back. So it's basically Jefferson for 2 stud running backs.
Yeah, I think that if I'm going to give up Jefferson, I need to get like a Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs back and something else really good. So I think you're getting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think we'll go with the second one. All right, Corey Miller. Pick 2 of the 3, Pittman, Lockett, Bateman.
All right, now Pittman's an interesting one this week. Downs had the bigger game for sure, but Pittman actually out-targeted them 8-5. But it's still Pittman. But it is the Lions. So bad against wide receivers. I think Pittman has to be the one here. Lockett, Bateman. I mean, oh gosh.
Yeah. Do we have anybody more exciting on waiver wire?
This is where I say maybe just take the 0 so you're not disappointed when you get the 0.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get a 0, so when you get the 0 at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, I knew I was getting a 0. But like if you put Bateman in and get a 0 or Lockett in and get a 0, you're gonna be like, what the heck, a 0? I mean, I don't think they'll get you a 0, but
no, at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, at least you get a few points. I mean, look, Lockett gets the Cardinals, Bateman gets the Chargers. I'll go Lockett.
I guess.
It's literally my analysis for these guys. I don't want to start either.
Yeah, I'd go Lockett. And Pittman. Also needs a quarterback. It says rest of season.
Richardson. You don't need a quarterback rest of the season. You just need a quarterback for this week. And then next week, you might need a quarterback again. But I think the one I'm going with here is Anthony Richardson against the Lions. Jameis in a tough spot. May on the road against the Dolphins. That's not a good spot. Levis, not in a 1 QB league. I'll just go Anthony Richardson to see what happens.
Right. I think I'd go Richardson both this week and rest of the season. Got Derek Gonzalez, Tyreek Hill, Harrison Jacobs, Pollard, Bucky Downs. Need 2 and 2 and a flex.
All right, a wide receiver. I'm going Hill and Harrison, which I guess you have Downs too, but I'm still going Hill and Harrison. Going Jacobs running back. Jacobs Bucky at running back, and then I think I will flex Downs over Pollard. It's another tough matchup for Pollard. Downs gets that Lions defense, very good for slot wide receivers. So Hill, Harrison, Jacobs, Bucky, Downs at the flex.
Yeah, good with that. You're benching one. Pollard's probably the one to bench. And then Stafford or Kyler, pick one.
Definitely Kyler.
Yes, definitely Kyler. Andrews or Njoku?
Njoku.
There you go. Jake the Snake. Rate the lineup. Lamar, the King, Monty Puka, Jennings, Bowers, D-Hop, Moody, Lions defense. Well,
I mean, it's solid. It's solid. You got King Henry, you got Lamar. Monty should be good this week. Puka's great. Jennings is great. You got Bowers. Yeah, it's very good. Very good.
If it's a 12-team league, then this is maybe 8.5. Let's say 8.5. But it's a very good line this week, definitely. And then Juan Pablo Guerrero, thank you. So he's 6-5, kind of on the cusp here. Have a trade offer for Kyron to receive Malik Neighbors. Running backs are Gibbs, Pacheco, and Tracy. Receivers are Puka and Justin Jefferson. Needs the win. So who do you trust more this week?
I think I still trust Kyron more. I mean, you got Gibbs and Tracy. Even if Pacheco comes back this week, you're not playing Pacheco, I hope. Coming off a serious leg injury. You got Puka and Jefferson. I just keep Kyron because even if I think Neighbors will be a little bit better this week, which he could, but he might not. I mean, it's not a guarantee. I don't think I'd take Neighbors over Kyron Williams the rest of the season with Tommy DeVito at quarterback. So I'm just going to keep Kyron. Like, Kyron, three weeks ago, we would have laughed at this. Okay, he's had three like games, some down games. He could easily go out this week and have 25 fantasy points and help you win.
Yeah, I know we kind of say tongue-in-cheek, like Daniel Jones is benched. So it can't be worse. Can't be worse. It could be. Like it actually could be. I fully acknowledge that. Malik Neighbors might not be better with Tommy DeVito. It is a great matchup, and I know you need the win this week. That's why I said like here this week, because if you lose, then the rest of the season doesn't matter, right? So I do like Malik Neighbors better this week. I think he's got a higher ceiling, but do you need a super high ceiling? You got Puka, you got Jefferson, you got Gibbs should be great this week. I like Tyron Tracy this week. And you already got good enough receivers. So It's tempting, but I agree. I think I'm going to keep Kyron Williams here because then you're avoiding the risk. Yeah, Neighbors has a higher ceiling. I think he also has a lower floor. Fantasy forecast. K9 for Monty.
I still want Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
I know Monty's coming off that huge game against the Jags, and he might not have another huge game this week against the Colts, but Kenneth Walker just gets pretty much all the touches in that backfield. I still want Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he hasn't had a big game lately, but it'll come. I'm not too worried about that. So, this isn't upgrading your team. It isn't. Like maybe I could consider this in non PPR just because Monty does score touchdowns so much, and I don't think it's going to stop. But if it's PPR half, probably just prefer Walker. Dion rotating QBs, is that a kiss of death? No. Depends. Well, it depends who the QBs are that you're rotating. Drafted Anthony Richardson. He's been a disaster. Look, streaming quarterbacks is still a viable strategy, and this year I think it's still totally fine.
It's streaming quarterbacks. It's always there's certain things that are just almost always good in fantasy, and every now and then we have a year like this year. Like, what was it? 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. Like streaming QB wasn't very good because all the elite QBs ended up being awesome that year, and then everybody was like, "That's it. You got to draft early elite QB. You have to draft early elite QB this year." And then it went back to being like, oh, wait, never mind. They're the early elite. Maybe that was last year, this year. But like, so this year, okay, this is the one random year where like, not waiting on RB or completely punting RB2 isn't working because there aren't any RB2s on the waiver wire this year, or very few compared to most years when there's like, they're out there every week. But it'll go back to normal next year. Don't worry. So, streaming QB is almost always a good strategy. It's like streaming tight end. It's almost always a good strategy. It's not fun.
Yeah, definitely this year. Yeah. Especially this year. We talked about CJ Stroud bust. Pat Mahomes mostly bust, especially where he was drafted. Pretty much a bust. Anthony
Richardson bust.
Yeah. Jay will have Tillman and Pittman starting. That's fine. Watson, Moore, Dunze are up for grabs. Got offered Quentin Johnson and White for Stevenson and Mooney.
For that first question, I might go Dunze over Pittman. But I don't know if I don't think I want to drop Pittman to get Odunze. So like if you just have somebody on your bench that you're like, okay, this guy's terrible, like, then yeah. QJ Rashad White, I assume is who that is. Stevenson and Mooney. I think I got to take the Stevenson Mooney side.
Yeah, it feels like a little recency bias if you take this because Mooney has been really good. It's just he was banged up last week. He didn't do anything, right? Falcons are on bye. So you're like, Mooney's, what has he done? Nothing. Mooney's been really good to most of the season, and Quentin Johnson has been scoring lately, but I think I still got to prefer Mooney to Johnson. And Stevenson's getting more touches than White. So, all right, what about Dustin Forsberg? Traded Lamb for Neighbors and Sutton. Seems good.
Yeah, seems good. I mean, I think Neighbors can be at least as good as Lamb, if not better, and Sutton looks great. That's definitely a good trade. Good trade.
That's a good one. AJ Fisk, 10-teamer, 2 running backs, probably meant 2 receivers and a flex. Hunt, Mixon, Swift, Eckler, Pickens, Jennings, QJ, DJ Moore, MHJ, Judy. Wow, put up a big total and lost. Yeah, well, that's head-to-head. You're also in a 10-teamer, so it's tougher.
Yeah. Let's see. Got to start mixing. I will say, if Pacheco doesn't play, then I think you got to roll with Hunt. I know he was terrible last week in a good spot, but this is the Panthers. if Pacheco plays, then maybe I'd probably go Swift. I know Eckler coming off that big game, but that's because Terry McLaurin couldn't get open and they just checked it down to him repeatedly. I don't think that's going to happen this week against the Cowboys. So Mixon Hunt if Pacheco was out. Otherwise, Mixon Swift. Pickens Jennings at wide receiver. I think I'm flexing Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. That's a good point. We're just assuming, or at least some people are just assuming Pacheco's playing. Just because he's active doesn't mean he's going to play. And if so, it doesn't mean he's going to play a lot. So I would say the same thing. If it's going to be Pacheco is involved, at least we think he's going to be involved, you should probably sit Hunt for Swift. But if not, you could still go Hunt. And then I agree with the receivers too. Ron Scott, Herbert or Mayfield this week?
Okay, I'm going Herbert. I'm all in on Herbert I'm pretty close to all in on Herbert this week. He's been running, been getting design runs. It's the Ravens. He's been great. Going Herbert.
I am fairly confident he won't pull a rust from last week against the Baltimore Ravens. I think he'll be better. Bless you. And on Herbert, you got to like Mayfield once again, but I think you just got to go with Herbert. Ethan Struby, it's 5-6, so I think this feels like a must-win. QB, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, and 2 flex. He said he needs a true number 2 receiver. Okay, got Lamar, Jettis Downs, Sutton, Kyron, Tracy, Mondre, Jonnu, MVS, Addison, Bateman, Dowdle, Gus, and Ferguson.
I mean, you say you need a true number 2 wide receiver, but Sutton's been great.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of depth at receiver because then that means your number 3 receiver's Downs. He's like a number 3 type of receiver. And then Addison is like that risky flex. But I don't know. I'm not sure what you trade here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what you trade either. I mean, unless you try to package like Addison. I mean, but even, that's what I try to say. Like, oh, Addison just had a nice game, but really, are people like excited about Addison? Like, you send out a trade offer with Addison. Is there anybody really like, oh, he was good last week? I mean, maybe, but like only if you play with tacos.
Depends on your league. Depends on your league mate. Hey, Vikings fans are pretty crazy.
That's true. You gotta rate, a huge Vikings fan who's the taco. Maybe you can give Madison. I don't really see any obvious moves here. I mean, you can always, you don't have to flex a wide receiver. I mean, you could, but you have 3 good running backs too. So,
yeah. Yeah, because I don't want to get rid of your running back 3. That's basically your flex. So probably just going to have to stick with what you got and hope for the best. Cody. No. AR over Kyler?
No.
Yeah.
I only have 2 QBs that I feel are strong starts this week, meaning not must starts. And Kyler is one of them. Herbert's the other.
No. And then David Luna is 5-6 as well. 12-teamer. Full PPR. Got JD, Kyron, JT, Cup, BTJ, Tank / Waddle, McBride. Yeah, the flex is iffy. I'd like to know who your bench is. Here's the thing. BTJ is on bye. Waddle is droppable.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. Who do you have on your bench?
Where's the bench? Where's the bench here? Where's the bench here?
Yeah. Because the thing is, you can't really trade from here because I doubt anybody's taking BTJ right now. And if so, not right now. Waddle has no trade value. Tank, I doubt it. Maybe. But Yeah, David, if you want to put in the chat, like you don't have to super chat it. Who else do you have? Let's see if we can cobble together a trade from some of your other guys. Anthony, what is up? Has a great team in the big money league. That's encouraging. And he won it last year, by the way, with some end game assistance. And then he says, yet I won't make the playoffs. Wow. Okay. Great team, lots of points, no playoffs. Sound familiar?
It is a crazy year. My wife, her fantasy team is Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chuba Hubbard, James Conner. Those are her running backs. Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Drake London, Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, and she had Chris Olave. Those were her wide receivers. Jaden Daniels at QB. She's not even in the playoffs with that team.
Well, yeah, because all her best receivers missed half the season.
True, but still.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Know. It's been a crazy year. I don't understand. It's like, yeah, it's just been a crazy year. Crazy year. She has the second most points against. Like every week, she doesn't have every week the team she plays just goes off.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is you can't control your opponent. You can't play defense. So that's just how it is. That's why sometimes fantasy football is pain.
Yes.
Okay, the Argonite 1, 2, 3, 4. Tracy Jones, Dobbins, bench one.
I'm benching. Is that Aaron Jones? I'm assuming.
I think it's got to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna bench Dobbins. I know Dobbins was good last week, but man, he only got 11 carries. Okay, he got that kind of cheapy touchdown at the end, but you take that cheapy touchdown out. What did Dobbins give you? Even with the other touchdown, which by the way was almost kind of also a cheapy touchdown because they got to the goal line and they gave it to Haskins, and then they gave it to Haskins again, and then they finally gave it to Dobbins. I mean, he really got 2 cheapy touchdowns last week. Now he's got to go against that Ravens run defense. I'm going to bench Dobbins.
Yeah, on the one hand, with Dobbins, he's going against one of the top run defenses in the league. On the other hand, it's a revenge game.
True.
Besides that, yeah, I think unless you're worried, I'm not too worried about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones usually does own the Bears. So it's close between Jones and Dobbins for me. But yeah, I think Dobbins is probably the one you should bench. Elmer Sanchez. Okay. So now we get to only pick one, thankfully. Justice Hill, Trey Benson, and Rashawn Johnson.
Oh, man. This is actually close between Benson and Rashawn Johnson. Benson has a better matchup, but man, Rashawn Johnson has a chance to score a touchdown every week.
Yeah, and he's just getting more opportunities in general. I mean, it wasn't an even split, but I think he had 10 carries to Swift's 14. So it wasn't just the goal line carries. Right. Granted, he didn't get a ton of yards necessarily, but he'll get you something. I think Johnson, makes the most sense.
Yeah, I will say before the bye though, Benson got 10 carries and 2 catches. So, but Rashawn, he always gets the goal line carries. So yeah, I'll probably go Rashawn and chase that touchdown.
There you go. And then actually back to the Argonite. Tight end question: Goddard, Henry, or Disley?
Gotta be Disley. It's gotta be Disley.
There's no choice.
Disley about to bust for everybody, including myself this week. But you got to roll with Disley.
Even if you know what might happen, but still, he's been good. He's been involved. I don't mind Henry this week. I think it's a decent matchup for him. But let's chase the upside, right? Let's go for the potential big game. Let's go to Disley. Glenn White, Jackson, Sun God Neighbors, Cooper, Evans, Tracy, Monty, Hawk Pickens, rate my starters. 12 team, made some trades. Oh, okay. So let's see. Got Lamar. That's good. Sun God Neighbors, Cooper, Evans.
At least you got Evans. You got 3 good wide receivers.
Tracy, Monty.
I see you must have traded away some running backs. Running backs are okay, though. I mean, Tracy Monty is fine. Hawk at tight end, fine. You got Pickens, too. So you flex in Pickens? Are you playing all these are your starters? You have to start all these wide receivers? You have to start Sun God, Neighbors, Cooper, Evans, and Pickens? Like you're starting 5 wide receivers? That's crazy. But if you are, then I like this team a lot.
It says rate my starters. I don't know if you got 2 flex or what, but yeah, it's good. Very good. I mean, look, if Tracy really continues to play the way he's been playing and runs, for 100 yards a game, you're good. You're good at running back. So I think this is a 12-team league. I give it a 8.75. Dion. Which receiver has the most value rest of season? This is a non-PPR league. Tillman, JSN, Downs, McConkey, Jameson, or Judy?
McConkey. Hold on. Maybe Jameson in non-PPR.
Yeah, non-PPR. I think, of course, touchdowns, right? Touchdowns, big differentiation factor. Big chunk plays, big yardage. So I gravitate toward Jameson Williams. I think he might have the highest upside. McConkey is close. Who are you going with?
Jameson. I changed my answer to Jameson.
Going Jameson? All right.
Yeah, in a non-PPR league.
I think he's just asking for one, so we'll say Jameson. And the Argonite with another one. Odunze or Wandale?
I'm going with Odunze. He can get just as many points as Wandale, but he can also get more. Yeah.
I actually like Odunze this week. I mean, doesn't get the bucks, but still. Let's go Odunze. It was encouraging to see his target share last week. I mean, I know we're oldish. Do you know any of these names? Brett Wire, Frank Rizzo, or Vinny Goombats? Or these are just all like Tommy DeVito sound-alikes?
Yeah, I don't think these are NFL names. Maybe though. Maybe.
Let's get to Michael Cazares, Tracy, Kyron, Pacheco. Who to flex?
Yeah, I still go with Kyron here. Is this where we're at with Kyron?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's definitely more than a flex. I'm briefly considering Tracy because it's such a good matchup and it's a tough matchup for Kyron, but I don't think I can sit Kyron. I assume you're going Kyron over Tracy too.
I'm going Kyron. Yes, I'm going Kyron.
Yeah. All right, John Wickering, what is up? Who are we starting? Pick 2: McConkey, Neighbors, Lamb, D-Hop, Jennings.
Oh man, this is gonna be easy.
I would like to just easily put D-Hop last, but he gets the Panthers this week, so I can't.
All right, well, he does say flex one from the remainder, so let's go Cook JT at running back. I think I'm going to go McConkey, Neighbors, Jennings. I'm going to sit Lamb and D-Hop.
Yeah. Let's see. It isn't a great spot for Lamb, right, against the Commanders. Man, McConkey's been so good lately. I guess the Ravens. Too obvious, right? Is this a trap here?
I'm falling for it if it is.
And it's like, how do you sit Jennings, right? How do you sit Jennings? I mean, I think you got to start Neighbors. I'm going to go McConkey. Yeah, and I think you got to go Jennings. I know it's tough to sit Lamb. And then we'll go Cook and JT. There you go. Yeah, at least you have some good options. All right, let's keep going here. Ethan Struby. Kyler Evans, Myers, CMC, K9, Hawk, JT, JMO, Russ, Pearsall, Warren, Noah Brown, Waddle, Ertz, Olave. This is 5 and 6. Does this team still have hope for the playoffs and what to do?
The only time you don't have hopes for the playoffs is when you're officially eliminated from the playoffs. If there's still a chance, there's still hope. You never know. You could win out, finish 8 and 6, and get in the playoffs. There's definitely still hope. You got Kyler, you got Evans coming back this week. Hopefully we see vintage CMC. You got K9, you got Hawk, you got JT, Jameson. I mean, is this super flex? Is that why we have Russ right there? If it's not super flex, I would drop Russ. But yeah, you definitely still have hope for sure.
Yeah, I think Russ is just on the bench. Probably, because Kyler was on bye last week, went with Russ, which was the obvious move that, of course, didn't pay off, but oh well. Yeah, there's always hope. You do have a couple of droppable players.
Yeah.
You could drop Wild, you can drop Noah Brown, you can drop Russ. Pick up whoever the best available are. Of course, watch the waiver wire video. Look at, some of the options there. I mean, you got Evans back. That's great. You need CMC to be CMC.
Yes, you need CMC to be CMC.
If he is, you can win. If he's not, it's not meant to be. All right. Now, sorry, make sure we're caught up here. Juice. Harrison over Tillman. Chance. This is directed specifically towards you.
Towards me?
It's got your name on it.
Yeah, I would go Harrison over Tillman. I don't know if this is the reverse jinx or what, but I would go Harrison over Tillman. It's not a great spot for Tillman against the Steelers, and man, we saw Elijah Moore, Tillman, Judy, and Njoku all got like the very similar target share. So give me Harrison against the Seahawks.
Yeah, oddly, I kind of feel confident in Harrison this week, and I haven't for a long, long time, but I feel like what we've seen preceding the bye, and I'm going to just, again, have a little faith that they're going to continue to actually plot ways to get him the ball, not 20 plus yards down the field, but continue to utilize him. And I also saw today, you probably saw it too, but something like Marvin Harrison has been double teamed.
Yeah, crazy.
Like twice as much as Malik Neighbors, like almost twice as much, like higher than any
like 3 times.
Rookie.
Three
Was
times
it 3
as much
times?
as Neighbors. Something like
that. I mean, I don't think that'll necessarily stop, but that's why you got to get, some ways to get him more underneath routes. But anyways, I'll say Harrison. Thomas needs one. Justice Hill, Trey Benson, Rashawn Estime. Feels like the question we already had.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Rashawn again. Benson would be number 2.
Yeah. All right, Jason Rodriguez. Thank you, Jason. Rank these QBs off of waivers. AR May, Levis, leaning Levis. I'm leaning away from Levis.
Yeah, I'm not starting. I'll go AR5. Go Richardson.
Yeah, probably that order, right? AR May, Levis.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking at it. You got Tua. I mean,
yeah, I would probably just go Tua.
Yeah, if you just need one to start this week, I'd go Tua. Okay, so
He's got Nick Westbrook-Akine. Nice.
Hey, true story. I try not to live victory laps. I started Nick Westbrook-Akine in a league last week. I did. I proof it. I did it. But anyways, who do you drop here?
I mean, I think you can drop Akine, honestly. If you're dropping somebody for like, are you ever really going to start Nick Westbrook-Akine? You got Amon-Ra, Cup, Harrison. I mean, I guess he's your wide receiver 4.
No, he's the only wide receiver on the bench, and you have like 4 pure handcuff stash types. So you could probably drop one of those handcuffs. I don't know, probably Jalen Wright.
Yeah, you can drop Wright too then.
Javon Grubb, Kincaid or Johnny?
Definitely Johnny.
Yep, Javon, watch the waiver video. I got Johnny as a pickup. Got Kincaid as a cut. Okay, Juice has a question. Another one. To make up for Ingram being on bye, we got this wonderful collection of streaming tight ends. Noah Gray.
Theo Johnson.
That's right. Hey, it's the Bucks. Likely or Noah Fant, who I think didn't even play last week.
He did not play last week. I might just gamble. I think I'll just. I know it's hard not to play Noah Gray. It's kind of weird. Like Kelsey played pretty low snaps last week.
And there's talk that basically that was the game plan, right? Buffalo's we're going to take Kelsey away, so that's why they're like, okay, we'll go to Xavier Worthy, we'll go to Noah Gray, and
yeah,
it worked for the most part.
I don't know. I might go Isaiah Likely. He had 4 catches, 75 yards, 5 targets. I mean, I feel like he probably will do nothing this week, but I feel like all these guys will probably do nothing this week.
Right. Yeah, I'm still not playing Noah Fant. I don't care if he's healthy or not. Noah Gray is not going to be a thing this week because I really doubt the Carolina Panthers are going to be able to completely eradicate Travis Kelce. Random touchdowns, right? Theo Johnson, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I don't think there's no ceiling. So hope for a Likely touchdown. Hey, Likely got some downfield shots. I don't know exactly what his air yard total was from last week, but I feel like it was pretty high for a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you have 75 yards on 4 catches, definitely.
Yeah, and he had a couple of also that didn't connect, but they were searching for him down the field. Nemesis. Ooh, Bucky or Connor at the flex?
I'm still going Connor here. I think Connor, tough to bench Connor.
Yeah, I like Bucky this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if he outproduces Connor, but I think you still have to go Connor. And then Debo or Reed?
I'm still going Debo here. You guys haven't seen the video yet because it comes out tomorrow morning, but I'm moving Reed down to both these guys, I think, are getting by on name value, but I think especially Jaden Reed is getting by on name value. Like, what has Jaden Reed done this year? I'm going Debo.
Yeah, it's funny because both of these, like you said, and Debo was drafted a little higher than Reed, but both these guys should have been very solid wide receiver 2 types. And they've both been just kind of boom bust, right? It's like once in a while a big game and more disappointment than not. I think this week I'm actually going to prefer Reed. Don't know why. We don't know for sure, right? Like last week was a Christian Watson week. I think they're going to go back to Reed. I think this matchup's a little bit better for him. So I'm going to go Reed. But again, these guys are both unpredictable. John with another one. John Wickering, that is. Pickups available. Got Justice Hill. Looking at week 14 still. Or Rashawn Johnson.
Well, I'm going to pick up Rashawn Johnson just because he's starting to get more involved. He gets goal line carries. Yeah, isn't Justice Hill on bye in week 14?
The Ravens are on bye in week 14, aren't they?
Yeah. But I would want Rashawn Johnson anyways. He's starting to get more involved and he gets goal line carries.
Right. Have Miami defense. Pittsburgh is available. Philly, Washington, Tampa Bay. Oh, what? The playoffs start this week.
I thought the playoffs. I thought you said week 14. Now, what did they move it? They move it up. Why would the playoffs start this week? That's
Why would the
ridiculous.
playoffs start in week 12?
The biggest bye week of the year, and we're starting the playoffs.
Okay. Miami defense is fine. I would prefer Pittsburgh. Philly, Washington, not Philly, Washington.
Right, Washington gets Cooper Rush.
Gets Cooper Rush. Yeah. For this week, I would prefer Washington. Rest of the season, I prefer Pittsburgh. It says he won by 1 point. Nice.
Wow.
Why are your playoffs in week 12?
That's the other thing. My wife lost by less than a point last night. Nico had that 77-yard touchdown call back, and then he had like a 20-yard catch late in the game that got reversed. Jeez.
Yeah. You never know. Jim K, Tracy or Aaron Jones?
Oh, I think I'll go Tracy here. I think I have Tracy higher, but let me verify. But I'm pretty sure I have Tracy higher.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tracy as well. Tracy, it's a great matchup.
Yeah, against the Bucks, let's go Tracy.
There you go. Christian Diaz, dropping Kraft, totally fine with that. Laporta, Disley, or Ertz, all on waivers. Nice.
I think you got to go Disley this week. Maybe even rest of the season. Honestly, is Disley going to be like this year's Njoku?
I mean, I don't think so. Even if he does have another good game this week, like a lot of it last year with Njoku was, first of all, of course, Joe Flacco. I mean, come on, it was Joe Flacco. But second of all, the fact that there were really no other receivers outside of Amari Cooper worth throwing to, right? There wasn't a whole lot. And Njoku is a little bit more of an elite receiving type tight end. Sure. He was very, as I know, very highly thought of coming out of college from the U, tight end U. Disley's more of a cat first type of tight end, right? And so is Zach Ertz. So the thing is, I feel like the Chargers have more options because Ladd has emerged. Quentin Johnson is coming alive. Josh Palmer is still there. They have more around him. Like Washington doesn't. Zach Ertz is basically the number 2 target there because who else is there? So I think I feel more secure about Ertz rest of season, but this week I think you got to go Disney. And so we just conveniently ignored the tight end one from last year of Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I'm not. He might not even play again this week. Why? Why play?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This week, yeah, why risk it when you got Disley against the Ravens? Don't risk Laporta. Okay. We haven't done too many non-super chats, but we're still catching up. This one is interesting. David Lakovsky, rest of season, Sutton or Harrison?
I'm going to say Harrison, but this is actually closer than I think it should be. Sutton has just been good this year. He's just been good. Whatever you think of Sutton, he's been good. Deal with it. He's been good. But I think I still got to chase the upside of Marv.
Yeah, I agree with that. Both the number 1 receiver in their team. I still just feel better about the Cardinals offense in general. I still have to feel better. No, this is not a popular opinion, but I still feel better about Kyler Murray than Bo Nix. Call me crazy.
Are there people who actually feel better? Well, they probably do because Bo Nix is a shiny new toy. But come on,
there are. There are. Bo Nix, that rookie of the year, he's got it.
Well, he might end up being rookie of the year, but let's not forget for most of the season it was clearly Jaden Daniels, and there's still time to go. But
right, and everybody wants an excuse to sit, cut, drop Kyler Murray.
That's true. Everybody hates Kyler Murray.
I don't know. It's weird. Don't know what it is. Andres Huerta traded CD for Cup.
Nice.
That's a win now. Thoughts on the lineup? Love Etienne, Aaron Jones, Tyreek, AJB, Otten. On the bench is Connor Waddle, D-Hop, Jason, Hubbard, Pitts.
So I assume we're just because I don't see Cup in your lineups, but I'm assuming you're going to have Cup.
Right.
So you got Achane, Aaron Jones, Tyreek, AJ Brown, and Cup. Pretty nice.
Good.
With Auden, you got Connor just chilling on the bench. D-Hop just chilling on the bench. Yeah, Hubbard just chilling on the bench.
It's good.
This is like my wife's team, but not quite as good.
Yeah. But hopefully,
this
you actually
very
make the
good.
playoffs.
Very good. Yeah, hopefully you're at least in the playoffs because this team could take it home for sure.
Yeah, and then maybe you just haven't set your lineup this week. I don't know if you agree with this. Probably go Connor over Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Connor over Aaron Jones this week.
Yeah.
And honestly, in a 10-teamer, you can drop Waddle.
Yeah, this is true. All right, good trade, though. Speaking of CD, Rise, our guy Rise above anything. Did you trade Lamb for Mike Evans?
I don't know which side you're getting here, Rise, but if you're getting Evans, take that and run. Run with it.
Absolutely. Good time to trade away CD Lamb. Good time to trade for Mike Evans. Do both in one. That's a big win. All right. Let's see. Gonna keep going with the super chats. We might do a quick lightning round to get some of the regular chats in, but as we proceed to give you what you need, we're about halfway through. Let me remind you, we do have an app as well. If you haven't tried it, it's called Draft Lane, and it is a free download from the App Store or Google Play Store. You can ask your very same questions, and we'll answer them there. Starts at waiver wire trade, whatever you got, ask us on there. Get some personalized feedback, and it's us. It's the two of us. One of us will respond to you and get you the answers that you need to help win in fantasy, just like we do here. So, try Draft Lane if you haven't already. And of course, if for reasons still unknown, I'm not sure why anybody would not have tried Underdog. If you love fantasy football, I think you're going to like Underdog. So if for some reason you haven't signed up yet, try Underdog. You get this free pick Thursday night, Jameis Winston, just getting a yard. All right, take the higher, you get the free pick. You also get free cash because when you make your first deposit, you get up to $1,000 of bonus cash in your account. But you have to use code ENDGAME to make sure that you get all that. So get Underdog while you're downloading the DraftLine app. Download the Underdog app if, again, for some reason you haven't. Use code ENDGAME when you check out, and you get all those special picks and bonus cash as well. You know what? Let's do some of the regular chats here. And let's see. Try to do ones that we can knock out. So, of course, as I say that, I don't see any, but let's see. Okay. This one's interesting. Lotus Productions, drop Waddle for Benson or Akers.
Sure. Give me Benson.
Why not? He's droppable. Alejandro Diaz, would you trade Achane and Wilson? Is Garrett Wilson for Saquon?
Ooh,
is that too much?
Ooh, I think that's too much. I think that like Saquon to Achane. I mean, yeah, I prefer Saquon, but it's not like a huge gap. And then you're just throwing in Garrett Wilson. I think that's too much.
Yeah, like I know we're not feeling great about the Jets offense right now, but Wilson's not just like a throw-in. He's not somebody you have to bench. So, yeah, it feels like a little too much. Brian V's Goff, Richardson, or Love this week?
Good question. I think I have Goff and Love very close. I do. But Goff gets the Colts. Love 49ers. I'm going to go Goff.
Yeah, Richardson is if you need a quarterback, but he's not above those two. Love is fine. I actually think Love will be solid this week, but Goff's matchup is the best. So let's go Goff. I mean, look at the way the lines are rolling. Okay. Phenomenal is seriously thinking about benching Debo for Will Disley.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, don't do that. No. And then Isaac Wiley. Should I trade Kyron for Kamara or Kamara?
I guess I don't. I don't feel super strongly about it. Like I feel like Kamara. I mean, Kamara's been good, but I feel like the ceiling hasn't been there because Taysom keeps taking the darn. Taysom and MVS keep taking all the touchdowns. Taysom and MVS, because why not? It's 2024. Taysom and MVS getting all the touchdowns. But I mean, Kamara, I might slightly prefer Kamara.
I think I do prefer Kamara as well, because here's the thing is ever since they came back, Puka and Kupp are taking all the touchdowns for the Rams. That's since when Kyron stopped scoring. So it's close, but I think I prefer Kamara. And then YMC, Dobbins or Bucky Irving this week?
Going Bucky Irving.
Very nice.
Better matchup.
Going Bucky Irving too. All right, back to the super chats. NTY, Baker or Goff?
Goff. Going Goff.
I mean, Baker, I think, goes back to being a starting quarterback in a single QB league, a pretty good one. But again, the matchup favors Goff. The Lions are rolling. This week we'll go Goff. Debo or Watson or Elijah Moore. Again, I know Debo's been disappointing. You're not going to say Debo for those guys, are you?
No. I still think Debo's a solid start. I'm not getting crazy here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. To roll with Russ or pick up Mayfield, Smith, Nix, or Richardson.
Yeah, I'm not rolling with Russ after last week. I think here I go Baker or Nix. Yeah, I got Baker. Actually, I have Nix higher. Maybe I'm too low on Baker. I'm going Nix. Maybe I'm too low on Baker. Maybe I'm too high on Nix. Or maybe both.
A little bit of both. I'll prefer Mayfield. I feel a little safer with Mayfield. Nix is fine. I mean, look, Dion, you're saying you're tempted with Nix. If you want Nix, I'm fine with that. Close. And then the Argonite. Lastly, the kicker question. Jake Moody or Will Lutz?
Hasn't Jake Moody been bad too? My wife has Jake Moody. I feel like he's like the weak link on her team.
He has. He missed a lot of kicks.
I guess go Lutz. Will Lutz Saints, but I know he's probably not Saints anymore. But he used to be Saints back in the day.
Right. Broncos.
Oh, really? Broncos?
Yeah, he followed Sean Payton.
Oh, okay. Well, what did he do in the few years when Sean Payton was out of the league?
Well, he was still with the Saints.
Oh, okay.
I get Lutz. Go Lutz. Well, they get the Raiders.
I like that you know so much about Will Lutz.
I don't know why. I don't even play leagues with kickers. I play in like one league with a kicker, but I don't know. Pay attention. They're human beings, at least.
It's funny that I'm in 2 leagues with a kicker this year, unfortunately, but thankfully. But one league I'm in every year with a kicker. I play with a friend of mine. He's like our kicker guy. I'm just like, whatever. The only thing I ever do is I say, like, our kicker sucks. We need a new kicker. That's it. That's me. I don't give him any suggestions. I don't give him any suggestions. I'm just like, our kicker sucks. Get a new kicker.
There you go. That's all you have to do. Ethan Struby thinks he need a better running back and wide receiver. Daniels, London, Evans, CMC, A, Jones, Hawk, Smith, Juwan, Shakir, Warren, Mason, Kirk, Waddle, Kincaid, moves, trades, drop, etc.
I mean, yeah, you could upgrade from Aaron Jones. Is that Christian Kirk?
Hoping it's Kirk Cousins as a backup quarterback who you can drop also.
Yeah, you can drop it. Christian Kirk or Kirk Cousins. You can drop him. You can drop Waddle. In a 10-teamer, you can definitely drop Waddle. You can drop Kincaid. You got Hawk. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could try to trade Shakir.
That's true. Coming off a nice game. Actually, he's been really good this year, getting great separation, getting targets, but not like a must start. It's a 10-team league, so I think you could trade him if you need help.
Could you get Pollard maybe?
Oh yeah, for Shakir, yeah. Do you want Pollard? Is the question.
Yeah, Pollard has a good schedule in the fantasy playoffs, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to definitely upgrade over Aaron Jones at RB2. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of great options to trade for right now that you're going to actually get. I wondered, just in general, thinking about this out loud, are you trading for Isaiah Pacheco right now?
Sure. Depending on what it takes. I mean, yeah.
Because obviously you would have got him cheaper a week or two ago. Okay. But right. I still don't feel like everyone's sure because we haven't seen him play, you know? So I think there's still a pretty decent buy kind of low window. Like not quite Black Friday prices, but like the pre-sale kind of like, okay, it's a discount. It's a discount. All right. So yeah, you could do that. You could do something like that. Okay, Chris, don't know if this is your burner account. If so, doing a bad job hiding it. So Chris wants us to, anonymous yes. Chris wants us to drop a like.
If it was my burner, I'd be 11-0. Come on.
That's true. That's true. Thanks to well, good to hear it. Good to hear it. And he's glad to see that Dobbins is finally getting some respect. Yes, we have no choice. No. Hey, if nothing else, we are not stubborn. We're not stubborn, right? We're open to new information. That's kind of how it just is supposed to be. Rise is 6-5. Yeah, oh yeah, we saw this already. Sent Lamb to get Mike Evans. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope this isn't the case, but Anthony wants to know if he has absolutely no choice, Jalen Waddle or Gus Edwards. Gun to head.
I'll just go Jalen Waddle.
I guess. I mean, what's Gus getting?
I assume it's PPR.
Right. I guess. Glenn White traded Najee, Etienne, and Brooks. Oh, you traded them away? I remember Glenn chatted earlier. Yes. Oh, okay. Because now I remember. Because you had said you must trade away a lot of running backs. Well, he did. He traded away Najee, Etienne, and Brooks, which is fine.
Nice. You got rid of Etienne.
Mm-hmm. 2 flex spots. Yes. So he is starting all those receivers. That's good. That's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is a good thing.
I think Tyrone Tracy is totally startable, especially this week. Which brings us to Willie Snyder. Hunt or Tracy?
I think I'm going to go Tracy. Did I go? I mean, certainly if Pacheco's back, I'm going Tracy. But I'm just wondering if Pacheco's out, do I go Hunt? Just because it's the Panthers. But man, Hunt did not come through last week.
He definitely did not. And I really thought he would. And coulda, shoulda, woulda, had a touchdown. But remember, they were at the goal line. He had the ball. He was about to waltz into the end zone. There was like a illegal procedure or false start or something. And then
yeah, but even if he had the touchdown, I mean, still you're only talking like 12 fantasy points, which is fine. It's better than busting, but I think I'll go Tracy.
Yeah, even if Pacheco doesn't play, I'm still going to go Tracy. It's a great spot, and he's been good. All right, Trevor Adams. This is a spicy trade. A.J. Brown and Tracy for T. Higgins and Rachaad White.
I like this trade, Trevor, just for the fact. I'm not saying I'm taking the trade, by the way. I just want to throw this out there. Just for the fact that somebody wants T. Higgins over A.J. Brown. T. Higgins finally getting the T. Higgins, if you take out the annoying fact that the dude, stubs his toe and misses 3 games, T. Higgins is the wide receiver 8 if you just look at the weeks he's played. T. Higgins has scored more points in the games he's played than Justin Jefferson. T. Higgins has been awesome this year when he's actually on the field.
When he plays. This is true.
That's the problem. That's the problem, though. I think I'm just taking A.J. Brown and Tyron Tracy here.
All right. You had me worried. I thought you were going to take the other side. I figured. Like A.J. Brown, I know has been kind of disappointing. He's still good. He'll score a touchdown one of these days. And I think the Tracy over Rachaad White is significantly in the Tracy side.
Yeah.
Or maybe not significantly, but definitely on that side. Anthony, different Anthony. Waiver pickups for buys and injuries. Jalen McMillan or Elijah Moore?
Just give me Elijah Moore. Jalen McMillan couldn't do anything with Evans out. What's he going to do with Evans back? Give me Elijah Moore.
Yeah, exactly. And then here we go. Luke Schoonmaker, Cole Kmet, or Jatavion Sanders.
Sanders is interesting because the Chiefs, for as good as they are on defense, have not been very good against tight ends. But you're really just hoping for a touchdown. I'm going to go Schoonmaker. He got a lot of targets last night once Ferguson went out. He just kind of, it's like a 1-to-1 replacement. So I'm just going to go Schoonmaker.
Schoonmaker could be interesting. You know what? I'm going to go Sanders here. I kind of like Sanders. Chiefs give up, for whatever reason, a lot of points to tight ends. I think that their offense, which usually just give the ball to Chuba first, second, third, they're going to have a tough time running the ball, and I think they're going to have to pass a lot. So I think Sanders is like my sneaky tight end play of the week, which will probably end badly. KJ Sticks, drop Dowdle and claim QJ or Christian Watson.
Yeah, give me QJ.
Yeah. I think we can safely drop Dowdle. You don't have to, but you can. Okay, let's see. John Wickering. Interesting. Okay, so going back to, guys, we're a little behind, but catch up. So he says in his league, I don't know if I've ever heard of this. You played 2 weeks combined to win. I've seen that in the playoffs. Is that what it is? But I've never seen it start this early. Even if you do that 2-week thing, it still doesn't start at week 12.
So that means 12, 13, 14 is one round. Week 14 and 15 is another round, and week 16 and 17 is the finals.
Right.
It's rough.
Yeah, I'm in a league. Well, we're not doing it this year because we moved over to Sleeper, but we used to be in FFPC, and we did that. It was a little different. Now I take that. There was a 2-week thing for the final, but it didn't start in week 12. It was like 14, 15, 16, 17. I don't know. Anyways, interesting. That's the fun thing. There's not one size fits all for fantasy leagues and scoring and all that. All right, Edward was offered McLaurin for Sutton and Addison.
I think you got to take Terry here.
Yeah.
Addison is like one of these guys every 3 weeks he pops off, and then you put him in your lineup and you're like, oh, that sucked. So this is pretty much McLaurin for Sutton. I still got to go Terry.
Got to go Terry here. Yeah, exactly. Addison isn't really a factor here. Got to go Terry. Have Puka, St. Brown, Jennings, Shakir, Juju. Yeah, just makes your strong receiving core even stronger. Yep. And then John also wants to know, would you trade Cook and Otten for HN and Bowers? Absolutely.
Yeah. Give me what? Okay, I obviously John is not the one doing this, but who is like, I'll take the running back downgrade and the tight end downgrade. Like, I'll take the downgrade at both positions.
You never know what people think. I really don't know. But if you're getting Etienne and Bowers, John, hoping you're getting that side, if you get the Etienne and Bowers side, do it as soon as possible. Ron Scott, Debo Jennings, or Jason?
I'm going Jennings. He's the wide receiver 1 in San Fran. Let's go Jennings.
Let's go Jennings. Jason, definitely startable, but I think you got to prefer Jennings. Let's get to Nemesis again. Traded Tyreek for Mike Evans. What do you think about that now?
I still probably prefer Mike Evans. I just feel safer about Mike Evans. Like, I think they both could be great, but like, okay, Tyreek Hill had a nice game here, but it's not like Tyreek Hill went off. I feel like Mike Evans could absolutely go off rest of the season. So I'll take Mike Evans.
Yeah, we're not seeing last year's Tyreek from fantasy production standpoint. I think you got to go Mike Evans here. So if you did that trade and you got Evans, which is what I'm assuming, then that's good. Big Dog Pound, what's up? All right, which defense in a smash spot do you prefer? The Chiefs against the Panthers or the Commanders against Cooper Rush?
I think I got to go Chiefs against Panthers.
I think the Chiefs just have a slightly better actual defense.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like Bryce Young is at least showing some signs of improvement. Like, I feel like streaming against Cooper Rush makes more sense, but I just think the Chiefs defense is better. So I'll go Chiefs. Dex, Ryu, Knicks or Love?
I'm still going Love here. I do like Knicks, but to me, Love is just always solid. I'm going to go Love.
Yeah. I feel like some people are getting a little too carried away with Knicks. And I'm probably still too low on Knicks, but I'm going Love. I think this is a good Love game. And actually, that's part of the thing, too, as far as the Packers offense this week. It sounds like Bosa might be out, right? He's indefinitely?
He
Is that what they said?
He left in the second half, and that's why Seattle came back on that last drive, because no Nick Bosa. And it doesn't sound like he's going to be able to play this week.
And that defense already has not been elite this year, and now without him, that's a big difference. So I feel pretty good about the Packers this week. Brado Blends. Josh Allen's on bye, so May, Stafford, Russ, Darnold.
I think I'll go Drake May here. Let me see. Yeah, such a tough matchup for him. I mean, Stafford against the Eagles, Darnold against the Bears, Russ. Yeah, I might just. Man.
I know we don't want to say Russ. I think Russ on paper, I'm looking at the matchups. Russ really does have the best spot here. So disappointing as he was, I think I would go Russ.
Maybe. I might just go Drake May for fun.
Just so you don't have to start Russ. Yeah, that's fine. It's not probably a big
At least Drake May's fun. He runs around and stuff.
True. I mean, he does have rushing upside that the others here don't. So that's why I think he's close. Pick 2, Cup, Neighbors, or Jennings.
Man. I think I'm going to go Cup and Jennings, even though I hate benching Neighbors. Cup and Jennings.
Yeah, I mean, Cup's a must start, just point blank. Neighbors. I've got to take a chance on Neighbors just because it's the Bucks. gotta try it. I'm gonna go Cup and Neighbors. Short season. How's it going? DJ Moore or Jaden Reed?
Man,
I think we're going to differ on this one too.
I don't even know who I like better here, honestly.
I kind of mentioned it earlier. I like Jaden Reed this week. I like the Niners this week, so I'm going to go Jaden Reed. But I think Moore is still a pretty solid start if I remember where I put him in the video.
Yeah,
I think Moore is fine.
Yeah, he gets the Vikings. I think I'm going to go DJ Moore, but this one's close. I don't have a strong feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you really don't know what you get with Jaden Reed, but I think this could be a good game for him. I just feel like a little slightly higher ceiling here. I would go Reed. And I don't know why this surprised me because I should know Robert Perky. Remember, Robert is in only 31 fantasy leagues. But anyways, he's saying last week he went 24-7.
I don't know how you have 31 teams and only one is below 500. Like, I don't care how good you are at fantasy. I don't care how much you know about fantasy. I don't care about how much you follow football and all that stuff. Like, that is almost unbelievable, honestly. Yeah, because just the law, just the law of bad luck. You know what I mean? You're going to have some teams that just bad luck hit you this year, right? Injuries, and you just couldn't overcome it. That's incredible, Robert. Well done.
But this goes back full circle to the very, very beginning. We talked early about this draft strategy and just general strategy. What separates the teams that are able to win repeatedly, not just year after year, but team after team? He's on here. He asks questions. He makes moves. He's staying on top of it. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you even set your lineup for 31 leagues, but you're doing it. So, I mean, the props are to you, Robert, because you're staying on top of it. That's the difference. Always thinking ahead. That's the end game philosophy. Jim K, 9-2. Awesome. Hopefully a lot of champions in here. I think we will.
Yes.
2 receivers in the flex. Jennings, Sun God, Terry, Cup, Downs. Have to sit someone good.
Man. I think you got to play Sun God. I think you got to play Cup. It's between Terry and Jennings. Terry gets the Cowboys this week at home.
Yeah, I got to start Terry.
All right, let's just go Terry. It's close between those two for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Let's do the middle 3. And then Skyward. Here we go again. Streaming Russ, Gino this time. Stafford, May, or DeVito. Could stack with neighbors.
No thanks. I'm gonna go Gino here. I actually like Gino this week against the Cardinals. Go Gino.
Yeah, I'll put Gino over those other guys as well. The stack didn't tempt you.
Not when the stack is when one half of the stack is Tommy DeVito. No. Let's just hope next year, Nate, if the Giants draft Cam Ward, which is possible, is Neighbors a for sure first round pick in fantasy?
Don't put that on him. But anyways, I know it's possible. Yes. Yeah. Cam Ward is exactly the type of quarterback that Malik Neighbors needs because he has an arm. Definitely has an arm. And he's not scared to chuck it deep. Full train Padawan, got to put this up because he's a loyal viewer as of late.
Yep.
So bench Breece Hall for Garrett Wilson. What? I liked Breece Hall last week. I know I did. Dead inside. Well, don't pull a Kermit and jump off.
Don't pull a Kermit. I mean, I always feel bad when I get it wrong. So sorry. And you're always on here. So, yeah. Sorry about that.
Just to show we are humble. Don't get it all right. Joe Estrada. Herbert or Love?
Herbert. I'm all in on Herbert this week.
Yep. Go Herbert. I do like Love, as I keep saying, but yeah, Herbert. Let's guess the Ravens. Let's go. Let's do. This is a good one. Kill switch. Who does he engage? JSN or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Oh, I know JSN's been great the last 2 games, but I think I still got to go Marv Harrison Jr. Although I have bumped up. You don't know this yet because the video hasn't come out till tomorrow morning, but I did bump JSN up to the solid starts, which is actually where I also have Harrison. I think I'm still giving the Harrison the edge for one more week.
Yeah, I feel good about Harrison this week. I think he'll come through. So let's go Harrison. It's a tough one. 26 bands up. Goff from Mahomes.
I'm going Goff pretty comfortably this week. I know that I have them both as solid starts, but I just feel better about Goff than Mahomes right now.
I mean, you look, right, Mahomes gets the Panthers. But again, what do we know about the Panthers? They cannot stop the run. It's not like they have a great pass defense, but it's at least somewhat respectable. But the real question is, how much will Pat Mahomes have to throw the ball this week? So let's go Goff. Because the Lions simply don't care what the scoreboard says. They will continue to pass the ball.
Yes.
And run the ball. The Frogs, D-Hop or Ladd?
Got to go Ladd. Ladd's a strong start for me this week. I like D-Hop, but man, Ladd against the Ravens.
Yep, got to go Ladd. Lex Diamonds. What is up? Pick 3. St. Brown Neighbors, JSN Harrison.
I think you got to bench JSN here again. I can't bench St. Brown. I still think Neighbors has too much upside. And like I just said, I'm going to go Marvin Harrison just a little bit over JSN. So, yeah,
this is basically comes down to that previous question, right? JSN or Harrison, because the first 2 are starts. So let's go Harrison. Benching JSN. Good advice here. Agree. Flacco always has wise words. Hitting the like button. Look, I can't guarantee it. Like, this is not 100% guaranteed, but good chance if you like and subscribe. That increases your odds somehow. Don't quote me on that. Nick A. Half PPR. Sell B-Rob for Trey McBride because, Kraft isn't cutting it anymore. Got Hall, Bucky, Tracy, HN, and B-Rob. Wow, so he's like your RB5/4.
Yeah, I don't typically like doing a move like this, but I think this is going to make your team a lot better.
Right.
And at this time of year, it's about having the best starting lineup you can possibly have. Like having Brian Robinson as your RB5. Like, is Brian Robinson ever going to start for you?
Exactly.
So you might as well just get Trey McBride and upgrade your starters.
Yeah, why not? Why not? And or sell Herbert for Andrews.
Get McBride.
Yeah. Andrews is still kind of frustrating.
Yeah, very.
You have Baker. That's fine. No, do the first one. Yeah, you can get McBride for B-Rob. That's fine. Rodney Alvarez. Like to see this. Was 1-6, 4-game win streak. Let's keep it going. Got Hurts, HN, Tracy, Puka Bowers. Flexing McBride. Needs a wide receiver too. Quentin Johnson or Josh Downs?
I go QJ, but I'm debating I might flex Downs over McBride.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. The Colts get the Lions, which sounds scary, but at the same time, they do give up points to receivers. And weren't you saying
especially slot receivers?
Yeah, it's just Quentin Johnson though. Like Quentin Johnson because it's the Ravens.
Yeah, I just think, but like I said, I'm gonna instead of flexing McBride, I think I'm just gonna play QJ and Downs.
All right, so I guess your wide. I guess it doesn't really matter. Your wide receiver would be Downs, and then you can flex Quentin Johnson because Johnson plays on Monday night, I think. So we'll save him for last. Okay, Doug Fenton needs 1 in full PPR. Let's go see it. Okay, Flowers, Tillman, Worthy, Jameson, or QJ?
Ooh.
I will say Quentin Johnson's interesting against the Ravens, but I'm not putting him over the rest of this group.
No, it's between Jameson and Flowers for me.
Yeah, Tillman gets the Steelers. I already said I'm very nervous about Jameis Winston specifically in this offense. Worthy, sorry, he's not making a quantum leap just because of the first half of last week. I think based purely on matchup this week, I'm kind of viewing this similar to last week. It's not the Jaguars, but Jameson has been good, and it's a pretty good spot for him. I think I'm giving the edge to Jameson.
Yeah, I get. Man, I just Flowers is so tough because it's like,
Yep,
it could go for 30 on your bench, but I guess so could Jameson. All right, go Jameson.
Hmm.
That was tough. That one was tough for me for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Missed games and videos. All right. Herbert or Mayfield?
Herbert. All in on Herbert.
Yeah.
The only QBs I'm starting over Herbert this week, legitimately, this is not even like hyperbole. This is true. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. That is it. That is it.
Wow. All right. That's all in. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody else. There are a lot of quarterbacks on bye. Obviously, you're not getting Burrow, Josh Allen. So
yeah, I'm not starting Kyler over him. I'm not starting Jaden Daniels over him. Not starting Goff. Not starting Purdy. Not starting Love. Not starting Mahomes over him. It's just those two.
yeah, I mean, you're right. Now that I look at it, there probably is no quarterback other than those two that I'd put over him. Right, there you go. It is Herbert. And then let's see. All right, let's do Under the Helmet podcast. This is 8-3. It's a 14-man league in sleeper, second place. Well, you're definitely sitting Burrow and Jamar Chase, unfortunately. Ramondre, Estime, Cup, Henry, Fairbairn. Well, I hope you have some bench players because you can't play Burrow and you can't play Chase. I really don't want to play Estime.
Yeah, but you're 8-3, so you can handle a loss. You'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't know who you have on the bench, but you need some replacements. And let's see. Landon. Reed, Hopkins, or Downs?
I think I'm going Hopkins here, but let me check and make sure. Yeah, I have Downs and Reed as flexes. Hopkins is solid against Panthers. I'm going Hopkins.
Yeah, Hopkins should definitely be solid this week. Again, I've got a gut feel about Reed. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go Jaden Reed, but Hopkins should be fine too. Okay, anything? We're all caught up right now. Let's see if we have any questions about guys we have not addressed yet. Bands up, we already answered that. Going Goff over Mahomes.
Yes.
What about Nick Trujillo? Which Browns receiver would you rather pick up?
I think I still prefer Tillman. I think he has more upside.
And then you would, I'm assuming, put Judy next over Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I'm not. Elijah Moore will probably disappear this week.
Yeah.
What Elijah Moore does.
Yes, indeed. Aaron Maxim, Pickens or Bucky?
Assuming it's PPR, I got to go Pickens. If it's non-PPR, I'll go Bucky.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Bucky, but I can't put him over Pickens. Maybe even if it is non-PPR, I got Pickens this week. Like Connor Ross really wants to know if he won this trade.
If you got
DJ Moore.
If you got DJ Moore, you won the trade. I'm not going to say you smash a trade, but what are we getting from Rico Dowdle and Nick Chubb this year?
Yeah. Yeah, these are bench running backs that you really don't want to play. So, sure, whatever DJ Moore gives you, will probably be more than you get from those other two. All right. Well, I think let's call it for tonight because I think we've pretty much addressed everyone on here as much as possible. Let's do one more. Actually, I see Andreas. Right. I don't recognize Andreas. And this is a 16-teamer. All right, let's help Andreas. Judy Ridley, J-Mo, pick 2.
I think I'm gonna go Jameson for sure. I think I'll go Ridley for the ceiling, slightly over Judy.
All right, that's a relief. I'm going Ridley as well. Again, worried about that Browns offense. Judy can get you a floor, get you something, but Ridley, again, should have had a much bigger game, had that long touchdown call back. He's still getting targeted like crazy. So, yeah, let's go Ridley and JMO. All right, guys. Let's say we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget a couple of things here, a couple of notes before we go. Underdog, you still have time to get your pick in. If anybody on here who's new, if you don't know, or if you haven't tried Underdog, try it now. Download the app. Get a free pick if you're brand new to Underdog as a new customer. It's Jameis Winston just getting 1 yard on Thursday night. So sign up, take the free pick. You get that plus your deposit match if you sign up using code ENDGAME. It's a good time to try it. Do NFL pick'ems. You can also do NBA, NHL, college football, everything that's going on. So again, just go to the Underdog app or underdogfantasy.com. Use code ENDGAME, check out, and get the new customer specials. And of course, check out Draft Lane. It's our app. You can do exactly what you do here. Ask your questions. We answer it. It is free download from the App Store and the Play Store. It's called Draft Lane. It is us in app form. All right, guys. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't. Hit notifications so you know when we go live, which will be, again, a little less than 24 hours from now. I'll be here tomorrow night. Talk more fantasy football. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again next time.